y'all, and welcome back to a new devotion, Turning Points with God by David Jeremiah. Today's title is The Good and Bad of Average. It's found on page 67. Our scripture comes from the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 12, and I'll be reading that from my King James Bible. And it says, "For we dare not make ourselves of the number or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves." And commend themselves mean lift themselves up. But they measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise. Everyone learns in school to compute the average of a group of numbers, add the numbers together, then divide the sum by the number of numbers added. Sometimes being average is desirable. Having an average body temperature of 98.6 degrees is a good thing. But being an average weight in a culture where obesity is on the rise is a warning signal. One place where average is definitely not acceptable is in the spiritual maturity. Woo! If all the subjects in study are totally depraved to begin with, Romans 3:10 through 18, then an average level of maturity is not likely to be the result you're looking for. Scripture says we have one model to strive for on the path of spiritual maturity, and it is not average. Rather, perfection is the goal, Matthew 5:48. While attaining perfection this side of heaven will not happen, let me underline that, our attitude should be the same as Paul's, striving to live without offense toward God or others. When searching for a model in this life, choose Christ. It is his likeness you have been called to reach, Romans 8:29. Body temperature is the best when it is average, but spiritual temperature is best when it's off the charts. The farther a man knows himself to be from perfection, the nearer he is to it. GERARD, GROOTE. Wow, this one was a little bit of a tongue twister for me, and it's a little bit somewhat tedious to try to understand, but I do like where it says, while attaining perfection this side of heaven will not happen. Our attitude should be the same as Paul's, striving to live without offense toward God or others. That is so key. And I think if we keep that in the forefront of our mind, that, okay, he understands we are humans, we are severely flawed, we make mistakes, but we strive to do what's right. We strive to be more like God, and we strive to show others the goodness of God in us. I was just responding to some of my comments on a previous devotion, and she made the point about kindness is always the way to go. In any situation, kindness never fails. And who better to model ourselves after than God, Jesus, and the kindness he showed to those that were mistreating him, mocking him, talking down to him. He never retaliated with rudeness and just spitefulness. He was always kind, and kindness always wins. It's even, I even try, in my daily life as well as in my comment sections, to just try to understand and be compassionate and kind and understanding. Treat others the way I would like to be treated, not the way they've treated me. Speak to others the way I would like to be spoken to, not the way they've spoken to me. Basically, following the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It doesn't say do unto others the way they've done unto you. It's not one up them. It's not to get back at them. Show them the kindness and the love of God, because you may be the only God they see. You may be the only Bible they read. It's so true. I've heard that all of my life. You may be the only Bible some people see. You may be the only church some people see. And Lord, please help me to make you proud in that area. And I can honestly say, and I do not say this boastfully or bragging, okay? But I do say this, and this is what God can do. He has made me a more compassionate, loving person. And I'm more now quick to show kindness and love and compassion and understanding to somebody who's being rude and hateful to me than I used to. I used to retaliate, and it was like I couldn't wait to tell somebody off. I couldn't wait, I kind of looked for those times, maybe even made some of them, created some. But now I don't want that, because I have the Lord living inside of me, and He's made me a better person. I didn't do this. This is nothing I can take credit for, okay? I can take no credit for any of this. I give God all the glory. I tell y'all all of that not to, relive the past and this and that. I want to help y'all understand, if God can do it for me, and I was a vile human being, there's nothing He can't do. He is an awesome, awesome God, and He can do any and everything. And He took somebody who was just, it just made my day to tell somebody off. It did. It made my day to tell somebody off. It made my day when I could ruin somebody else's. Isn't that a horrible way to live? Yes, it is. I was miserable and didn't even realize how miserable I was until the Lord began to work in me and cleaned me up. And then I sat back, because as the Lord was doing a work in me, I was still in a different environment, and He eventually got me out of that environment. But I would sit back and I would watch people that I used to get along with and understand, and we would ag each other on, watch them, how they would handle things. And I was like, oh my Lord, if they only realized how awful they look and sound. And the Lord let me just hear and see that used to be me. And I didn't like that. It was not becoming. It was not pleasant. And I did not want people to know me as that. But I didn't reach that point until the Lord began working in me. And then, eventually He got me out of that. And I'm in a somewhat of a situation where I can kind of pick and choose who I spend my time with now. But honey, that don't mean the internet don't keep you humble, because it does. I get some of the most off the wall comments, and it's like I'll be going along having a good day thinking, okay, this is good, and then I'll get a comment and it's like, pew, down I go. And it's like, oh, the Lord will keep you humble, and He will use the internet sometimes to keep you humble. Not that I was getting high and mighty and full of myself, but yeah, the internet will keep you humble. But I love that God understands that we are not going to be perfect. He understands that. There was only one perfect human being that walked this earth, and even then they found fault in Him, and He crucified Him. He understands we're not going to be perfect, but I want to do my best to be perfect. I want to do my best to please Him. I want to, when I lay my head down at night, to know, okay, did I handle every situation the best that I could in a loving, godly way? Or, Lord, is there something that I need You to work on me with? I mean, did I handle it not so well? Did I do my best? And I really do the self-evaluation and asking the Lord, and that goes a long way, because just think about it. If you're dealing with somebody, maybe you're training them for a position that you're very familiar with in your job, and you see them really trying, they mess up, they're making mistakes, but they're coming to you and they're like, did I do this right? How can I handle this and do it better? You're more apt to go a little bit further for that person and have their back and kind of root them on and help them, more than you are somebody that's just like, well, I did my best. That's the best I can do. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of how I look at things when I go to God. It's like, Lord, I want to do my best. I want to please you. Did I do it? Where do I need to work on me? Where do I need to improve? Help me, Lord, because I want to do it. I don't want to just say, this is the best I got. Take it or leave it. No, that is not the attitude and the personality and the relationship I want with God. I want to do my best for him more than anything else. I mean, I want to be a good mother, a good wife, daughter, all that. But more than anything else, I want to be the best I can be for him. That's what I get from this. I hope that makes sense. Thank y'all so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing day. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.